Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoy. And if you do, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you stay up to date on further content. Greetings. Jour Andrew, and welcome aboard the USS Shadowstar. I hope you are comfortable. I am Captain Ri'shad, aka the Renegade, and this is Star Trek Online and a visual review video. So, if for the Pacific ship in question you are here for its stats, I'm afraid you're in the wrong place. You best check out the description below to get the transporter link to the correct video. But don't worry, this one here is still going to be quite entertaining, and there are links at the end of this video to take you to the right place should you wish for it. Now, today we're going to be looking at a very interesting starship. A ship of the same era, or at least space frame design era, as my beloved USS Shadowstar. This ship is, well, must have been built some point during the Romulan War, and so you can certainly see in its design and its requirements that it was meant for battle. A ship that I'm pretty sure probably led or commanded a few attack fleets during that war. But without further ado, we really best be on to looking at this starship. So allow me to introduce to you those members of the Federations, the Klingons, Dominions, and the Romulan Republic. Allow me to introduce the beautiful ENGLE class. Whoa! Okay, so straight off the bat, guys, we see this ship has layers to it. Quite a few, in fact. There's a lot going on here. A lot more than most would probably expect. This Strike Wing Escort and Discovery era starship, well, does have a more modern counterpart in the Earhart class. And so you do have a couple of template designs you can work with this ship. Should you be looking to customize its appearance? We've also got quite a few window types, specifically 8, including the ENGLE's own individual type, which seems to be a combination of porthole and larger transparent duranium windows. She comes with the 5 Discovery era Starfleet types, 2 NX, the 10 standard types, upgrade and veteran should you have access to them, giving you quite the long list now of hull types to have in your starship. But she does have a limited customization proportion to her more advanced parameters. Unfortunately, with only 2 designs, it is very limited, and further probably unfortunate, the Earhart parts don't really translate very well to parts of the ENGLE, looking quite heavily out of place on the ship overall. It is probably only the Earhart hull that works across. It's kind of a pity in design. It says that although the iterations are clearly one has evolved from the other, there isn't much synergy in the evolution. As a result, crossing the designs is not so optimal. Let's take the Type 1 out and take a look at her in space. However, customization aside, visually speaking, we can do this ship quite a lot of justice. She's she's an interesting design concept. Admittedly, not one of my favourites. In fact, quite far from it. But I do appreciate the evolutionary path she's taken, and I can understand why she is functionally built the way she is. Though she's an Escort and therefore highly maneuverable, she's also a sort of command center for attack fleets. Could say she is the command ship of the first wave, leading the groups of escorts and scouts into battle, taking a bit more punishment and leading the action with her own attack wings. She can go in on her own, or she can go in with a sort of attack wing. Her form does follow function quite well, I have noticed, though I'm also very questioning in certain areas of it, but we will get there in a minute. The one thing I will say is that this ship follows the required function of the ship far better than her evolved state. Even though her evolved state does have a straight fly-through hangar, this one has things which sort of scream better suited. Okay, not sure where to begin with her, so we'll start on what is the most important thing about her. She's a strike wing and a carrier. Oh, for some reason they're on 7, that's why I can't launch her. Oh, this is difficult. Come on. Where are you going? There. Almost. There we go. Good sight of them. So, this ship comes with the specific shuttlecraft. The Type 7, I think it is. They're not all that powerful, but they are quite effective. Thanks for that. Certainly what you'd expect this ENGLE class to be carrying. And I've got to say, for her hangar design, these ships are quite suited. You can line up a lot of them alongside of each other and launch them all in rapid succession. And for that matter, this ship has got quite good hangar designs. As you can see, there's proportionally landing zones in front of their hangar doors. And then the hangar doors are obviously, I want to say, they are sort of folding doors, but they also look very solid. So perhaps they open outwards and in an almost letterbox fashion or mouth fashion. But these guys aren't gonna. We've only got to wait for them to do it 5 times. Only got to wait for them to do it 5 times. Actually, I can do better than that. Come back to the shuttle. Time to disappear. Yeah, I've got a feeling that those doors either open outwards and in an almost mouth-like design, or they are rolling shutters and they're just a lot more loose than they look. But it is a nice design, and as you can see, much like with the Earhart class, these are fly-through, as they come to the rear as well, in a perfect alignment to each other. In fact, the hangar bay is huge. Now, you can already see that below the hangar is 2 decks, roughly. 1 to 2 decks, give or take. Probably safe to say 1 deck. At the rear, obviously staying the same, and you've got a solid portion going down the center of the ship, which leads me to believe that your hangar is not connected in the middle, but I would also say that would be a design flaw. This is an attack ship with basically useful hangars. Yeah, in game it only has 1 hangar. It really should have had 2 hangars because, well, as you can see in its design, it has 2 hangars, or 2 primary hangars. And secondly, that would have made more sense. However, I do feel like the ship, functionally speaking, should have had a solid hangar bay at the bottom there, which is just huge and absolutely nothing else is there, just the hangars. All the other functions of the ship are up here in the saucer section, or as could be said, the primary hull section. Yes, this thing is going on below. I'm not entirely sure what to make of whatever's going on below there. Lord knows this ship is armed like a complete psychopath, so we'll go into that shortly, but the only things other than that, other than the way I feel the hangar's going on at the bottom section of the ship, is notably that window. Now, I'm not entirely sure what that is. I imagine the windows alongside here are all observation sections for the shuttles as well. Because to put observation lamps around this section of the ship wouldn't be a bad thing. So, I imagine a lot of rest areas in this section of the ship. But that window at the front, what is it? It's 10 forward? I don't know. 25 forward. Definitely not. If there's 25 decks to this ship, I'm a bit worried. Pardon me. Now, away from that, we'll go actually towards the upper section of the ship and talk about the bridge. The bridge, which... oh, I have some questionable issues with. I mean, not entirely sure what's going on here. One, what on earth is this bulge at the back of the bridge? Personally speaking, I'm going to just go out on a limb and say that's the tactical center. That's the only thing I can think of being there, is the sort of tactical command center. And if you look at the shuttle base sections, there are some weird things that go along with it. So up on the top of the ship behind this section is what looks like these 5 landing pads, similar to what you see on Deep Space Nine. So I'm inclined to believe that these are shuttle pads that will raise and lower down into the actual hangar section of the ship. And then, well, beyond that, it's... if you're going to have such a huge portion of the ship dedicated to shuttle work, that would make me fundamentally have to say that the back of the ship here has to be a sort of command control center for all these shuttles, because clearly this ship is launching many at once. And there's no way the bridge command can handle all that at the same time. Like you have on a modern day carrier. The carriers have their commanding bridge, and you also have the command section of the bridge that is commanding all the fighters. Speaking of the bridge though, what is going on with that gigantic window? So, going against myself in arguments from the past, as I have done some research properly into what the windows on starships are made out of in Star Trek universe, which is transparent duranium, or basically transparent hull deposit. Essentially, there is no difference between the windows on a starship and its hull. They're made of the exact same material, just one is engineered to be transparent, and it is only slightly weaker. So yes, when you see it shattering like glass, that's actually not accurate, and it shouldn't be doing that. It should be rupturing like metal. That being said though that would mean that the front of that bridge is not as weak as it looks, like it's going to get hit by one torpedo and shatter into millions of pieces. Why is that window so damn big? Does the entire bridge need to see the battlefield? I've always been a little bit questioning of that. It is a very odd design choice, personally speaking. and is probably one of the main things I would want to change on this ship if I was to change it. I'd probably cut that down so that it is about a fifth, maybe a fourth of that. It's a very weird section of the ship. Speaking of weird though, bearing in mind these starships generally have only one warp core, and it's very rare you have an additional. Only ships like the Prometheus would have multiple. With that being stated, I've got some questions to be made. Well, obviously we know that these here, based on design type, these are actually docking ports. So you got your docking ports on the ship. Why they're only at the aft of the ship, I don't know. Why does it look like it's got two gigantic docking ports underneath the warp nacelles? Again, no idea. Just noticed that. But my big thing I want to pull up here is this weird quad design of circles with 3 different smaller hatches, what look like hatches, connected into a larger one. Now we know this ship is a highly agile, highly maneuverable ship, and I would have initially said there was something around the impulse array, except for then there's nothing underneath for that, so not that. Also impulse crystals and warp stabilizers. Well, warp stabilizer it might be. They're not impulse crystals, they're too far away from the primary impulse drive. In fact, if I was to call anything warp stabilizers, I would call these long rectangles at the back, sorry, impulse crystals. These long rectangles at the back would be those impulse stabilizers, or what the crystals do. My theory is these are part of the warp management system, and for some dipsy reason, I'm going to assume that it's due to the weird uses of the hangar. This ship has 2 warp cores on it. The idea being that you couldn't really centralize the because of the way the ship is built and designed, you couldn't really centralize the engineering section. So it's using 2 micro cores instead of 1 full-blown warp core. And that's what these 3 hatches here are for. That actually reinforces, or basically turbocharges, assisting and amping up the power of the 2 micro cores, in order to give this ship the full functionality of a single full power warp core, perhaps even more so, which could mean this ship is actually more powerful in the in the sort of warp core generation side of things. It could be said that if it was using only 2 of these and that micro, it would have the total power of your typical warp core of the period. With the extra 2 there, it's slightly more powerful, slightly more efficient, something like that, I'm not sure. And it could also be a case of that having to help the actual warp field stabilize, because this ship has got a very armored up warp nacelle, so perhaps it needs assistance stabilizing the warp field. I mean, certainly the nacelles have line of sight to each other, but, well, you're not seeing much venting going on from the warp coils, are you? In fact, no warp coils are present. Speaking of the nacelles, they're a very slim down design, which again, probably would require them to be more powerful in the warp generation system. That probably needs to be more powerful because the nacelles are being very compacted in order to avoid target profile. Because you've got to bear in mind, this ship does a really good job at keeping a thin profile. Though with the lower hangar, the nacelles didn't really need to be that thin. Just saying. However, design aspects aside, the Bazaar collectors at least look quite high-tech for its period. I'm not sure what's going on with the long fin down the side of the nacelle that you can see there. It doesn't serve any real use in my eyes. There's a lot of vents going along the top section, but what really caught my eye was this detailing on the underside. Now, I'm not sure what is going on there. The only thing I can think of that being is a plasma vent. But it's huge and what looks like a docking port. There's also this weird, what I'm gonna call turbochargers to the back of the nacelle. It looks absolutely beautiful. I love that detailing. I wish we could see more of that. It gives a lot more functionality to the actual nacelle. So personally speaking, that is probably my favorite design aspect on this ship, is actually this lower part of the nacelle right here. But I really would love to know what it does. My real question to it though is, why does it look like weapons? You can guess where we're going to next, can't we? Yeah. So, take a look at its design, specifically. Now, this part here looks like it's going to be venting, and so does these proa tubes. But, take that away from it, and it looks like a barrel. Literally, a solid barrel running from one point back. Now, you never really saw this ship independently properly in Discovery, but part of me wants to argue that the whole section there isn't what I'm saying it is, like a turbocharger from that, but it actually drops, lowers itself down, much like the powerful cannons of the Kelvin Universe's Vengeance class, and you've got these two very high output either particle cannons or possibly, well, kinetic launchers. They could be hypermass accelerators, in which case you're talking a railgun. And, well, actually, even beyond that, if you went technically with warp technology and the fields they can generate, they could create something that would be a lot more powerful than a railgun, which is the magnetic accelerator. If they actually used field dispersal and accelerated that way, you're talking about firing a heavy mass object at warp speeds or near warp speeds, breaking the light barrier. You're going to screw some stuff up with that sort of weapon. And considering this is functionally an attack ship, that would make sense. My only issue with it is, why is it after facing? Unless, along with being able to drop down, it could then actually twist all the way around. What do you guys think to it? Suffice to say, with two of them, that would be a pretty damn powerful weapon. On that note, though, they have got a very obvious twin cannon right here at the front. Back to looking here, aren't we? So this twin cannon here, you could tell that this is the sort of thing that would have to be on the ship because it was functioning during the Romulan War. Obviously, the period of Discovery is set so close to the Romulan War, almost all the ships in the show would have been functioning in it. Like the Walker class had no option. With its age, it was in the Romulan War. USS Shenzhou was probably on the front lines of the Romulan War even. So a powerful cannon like this makes sense to have on the ship. I feel like it's the mega phaser of the period, as that's the first thing that comes to my mind, but, well, with its design, because it's not gigantic like the ones at the back. So the first thing that comes to my mind is Mega Phaser. The only other thing comes to my mind is a wide-arcing torpedo launcher. Because that's the one thing this ship seems to be missing out on. torpedo launchers. There aren't any. There is quite literally no torpedo launchers anywhere on this ship. It's armed like mad with phasers, but no launchers. Oh, when I say armed like mad with phasers, let me give you an idea. So, first of all, let's talk the forward section of the ship. Everything ahead of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 phasers. Or sorry, look at their design. They're twin phasers or twin beams. So twin beam ball phasers, 10 of them on the underside of this ship alone. Forward arc. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 possible. 10, 11, 12 possible. You got these extra 6 on the wings. Not entirely sure they are phasers, but that is between 12 and 6 on the upper section of the ship. We're talking 16 to 22 forward phasers alone. Are you taking the actual piss? Even if it's only 16, that could then lead to these being the actual torpedo launchers. That means this ship has at least 12 torpedo tubes. So let's not call them that. Head towards the aft. Oh look, you've got more of these little things at the side. So are those torpedo launchers there? Beams. Oh, okay, and 1, 2, plausibly 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So 8 there on the upper half. Good, not seeing any more in the upper half. Oh dear. Yeah, 8 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
How many weapons does this ship need? Seriously?
If I lowball it, we're talking 6, 7, 8, 10, 15, 17, 27. 27 phases in total over this entire ship. This ship is armed like a truck. Sorry, armed like a nuclear device. It is going to be devastating. It could blanket a planet without trying. And that's forgetting the fact it has hangars. So therefore it's launching multiple shuttlecraft which are adding at least a phaser emitter to this ship in one go. It's just way too powerfully armed. Almost insanely so. Damn ship. Mind you, I feel a little bit wrong putting torpedo launchers on this ship now. I think I better take them off. On a side note though, we'll go finally onto something a little bit more light now that we've gotten those insane weapons out of the picture. Let's talk about this deflector. So deflector is the typical Discovery period deflector, twin prongs and all. Personally, Finally, I have something else negative to say. I've been looking for something negative because I'm not a fan of the ship, but, well, it doesn't fit to me. Personally, it should have been flat. They should angle it just instead of that flat design. They should just angled it back just a little bit, just so it's with the saucer's curvature. Obviously not the prongs. The prongs stay facing the way they are. But a little bit of an arc to it would have made it feel a little bit more realistic within the ship's design. Just a bit more fitting. Because you can't say they couldn't have put a curved dish or an angled dish onto it. Look at the Shenzo. It's a perfect example of them putting an angled dish onto these ships. I do like the additional element though, the white glowing element to the ship. It does give it some strength and feel. I just realised I've not actually been letting this ship fly. No. But yeah, I would make comments on the impulse array, but there's nothing special I really want to comment on that. The impulse array is very bland and boring. I guess the vents next to it are interesting to say the least, but honestly I can't think of much more to say about the ship's design aspects. The RCS thrusters are a nice bit of detailing, I will say, better than the Earhart classes ones, because the Earharts are exceptionally bland. But you know what we can do? We can make this ship more pretty. So let's get on to visual designs, visual detailings, things that you guys might wish to see as well. First of all, it's Discovery Vantage Shields. Obviously, this doesn't do much to it. The RCS thrusters look a little bit odd. Facade collectors, they are really weird right now. Not entirely sure why it does that. Oh, perhaps. Now, this pattern we're seeing on the back here is what typically happens with Discovery Vantage Shields on torpedo launchers. So I believe these are actually 6 torpedo tubes. And it's only got 4 emitters here. Okay, so that would make more sense. It would weaken the armaments of the ship, beam-wise, but will give it a high output torpedo. Makes sense to me. And look at that. Those are coloured as well. Those two are definitely torpedo tubes. So safe for me to say it's got about 8 torpedo tubes on this ship. What am I near? Oh, you. Isn't that nice? Well, Discovery, thank you for letting me know where the torpedo tubes were. But now you can go away as we look at the Emperor's Vanity Shields. Now see, that works well with the facades. Again, that is definitely a wide arc torpedo tube launcher. No doubt in my mind now, those 6 that are grouped together, those 6 yellow dots, definitely torpedo tubes. And no doubt in my mind now that this ship has 2 warp cores on it. Well, it's a good thing to the Vanity Shields, can let you find out a little bits of detail. Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield. Not overly one of my favourites, but hey, it's actually kind of fitting on this ship. Works quite well, in fact. I've not been a fan of the Kelvin shield so far, or Kelvin Divergence. This is probably the first time I have liked them. Next up, Section 31, Vanity Shields. So this is a ship I imagine the Section 31 probably never flew. I mean, why would they? They don't have an excuse to fly this ship. But perhaps they should have done. Top section of the ship looks absolutely class. I absolutely love it. Especially the circles themselves. They look very high tech, almost like sensory nodes. I do like the fact the facades are still there. They haven't been greyed out or anything. Very sleek, aggressive, and angry design. The black and red works well. So, this next shield is the Aegis Covariant Shield Array. Ones you build yourself. Stanley just adding a glowing element as well as making a more metallic feel to the starship. Cannons stand out a bit more now underneath all the cannon launchers. Intriguing that those have got a new elemented colour to them. Right, time for a simulation. Now, I'm sure you guys are expecting this to look really good. I definitely am. And I quite like it, I will say. I like how the impulse array looks yellow as well. For those wondering, here is its full assimilation. Certainly the deflector looks exactly how I'd expect from a bulk-fied version of the ship. It's a very angry and aggressive stance to the ship. I do like.
I approve of the ship.
Now for the Bajoran Touch. Oh, and those wondering, the last shields we looked at were the assimilated regenerative shields. These shields are the Bajoran Defense Covariant Shield Array. Mine with Cap 3 apparently. Okay, now I just looking at the fact that that now straight up appears to be a hatch. I am 100% positive that those are 2 warp cores on this ship. I'm not sure if I'm fully agreeing with the design that's going on in this ship, but it's a good touch. I'm also more than positive now that those are those hatches there are actually hangar pads. I mean, the ship should have more hangar pads on it. Come on. Look at her. Next up, we're looking at the Delta Alliance Unimatrix Shield Array. One of my less favourites. Or least favourite, should I say. What the? Okay, the impulse array looks quite good from this angle, but then you come up here and it's, no. It's one of the things I don't like about this ship is the way that that green sort of augments depending on the angle you're looking at it. It doesn't work for me. Next up, suited to the section, we are looking at the Dyson Regenerative Shield Array. I gotta say, I like the white and grey meshing to each other. Seems to be a bit of shadow glitching on the ship, but what can you do? Not bad. Not bad, I do say. Okay, again, one of my less favourite ones, the Iconium Resistance Resilient Shields. On this ship, maybe fitting. Not really. Yeah, I can't say I'm keen on it again. About standard for me by now, really, isn't it? Not being overly keen on the way the Iconium one looks. But I'm pretty sure you're all waiting for it. You can keep waiting. We're not there yet. Lucari. Oh my god. I hate these temple shields. Lucari. Restorative.
I'm not there. I can English once again. Yay!
Lucari. Restoration Intuitive Regenerative Shield Arrays. Great. Let's give it a mouthful to the autistic. Not the easiest for me to say, clearly. Oh god, it made the RCS thrusters look horrible. Oh god, it made sections of the ship look horrible. Oh. Oh. Wow. No. Oh. Comments, guys? Wow. Yeah, let's bring some beauty out. The Nukara Crystalline Resilient Shields. There we go. Beauty in its finest. Really industrial feel to the ship. RCS thrusters still look stupid though. Pardon me. Maybe a little bit too much monster being drunk here. Monster? Rockstar! What am I saying? I wanna be a rockstar. No, I don't. Yoink! That's pretty cool. Okay. My fellow Romulans. Romulan Advanced Prototype Covariant Shields. Considering the ship fought in the Romulan War, it's quite hilarious seeing Romulan hull aesthetics on the ship. Actually kind of fitting too. It's like a good blend. Though, I don't know if it's just the fact that I'm not very intuitive about this ship in the beginning, but none of these shields are actually feeling over the top jumpy for me. Only the Kelvin Divergence has actually felt like a nice hull type so far. Temple Defense Intuitive Regenerative Shield Array. How the hell did I manage to say that? Wow! That was a miracle in this half. Don't expect me to do that again. Firing shots into the past. Well, it looks alright, I guess. It's another interesting design. Ah, Terran Task Force. Covariant Shield Array. Why it has phase resistance, I have no idea, but okay. Maybe because they primarily use disruptors. I've always imagined this shield type to be very nice on Klingon ships. It's working kind of well here though. Right. Oh, well, the bit that you guys were all expecting. Ooh. Okay, one though, I do like the impulse array, the way it turns from blue to green. Jim'Hadar. Now this worked really well on the Earhart class. The Earhart class had the lines for it. This ship, it's not so bad, I guess. Then again, I'm kind of a fan of the Jem'Hadar aesthetic anyway. Finally, the Reman Advanced Prototype Covariant Shields. Which... Again, I'm going to state that, come on, STO, time to get that patched in. You have a missing texture clearly on the Reman shields. Let's get it fixed. But it looks pretty good. If it's not a missing texture and it's supposed to be that pure black, I'm questioning it. Especially on the weapons themselves. Well, I say this, it looks like a rush bucket. What? I mean, hello? Let's leave out the divergent shields. See how many people notice it's on these. This is the shield type when I have my fun now. It's an interesting look on the ship. I will give it that. The ship has got an interesting design and look. And the shields can be quite fun to look at as well. Though, personally, I'm not really a fan of its design. Give Star Trek Online the credit. They've remade the ship in the game really damn well. Certainly, as far as remaking the ship goes, Star Trek Online, I give you 10 out of 10. Ship's actual design though, and how I'd score it? Well, okay, it follows good parameters of Star Trek, or the Star Trek universe and canon. Enough of them for me to give it some leeway, so 5 out of 10. Yeah, and I'm giving it leeway. I don't know. I do like the Starship's design, but I'm going to be straight honest here. The nacelles themselves, I feel like should have been connected differently. Connect the nacelles to this ship in a different manner. Either drop them a little bit, bulk up their size, or raise them, or even off pylons and swoop them back. I would have possibly liked this ship a whole lot more. But because of the way they're built into the ship, the way they seem to hang back for no apparent reason, they seem out of place against the rest of the ship's design, and that's my issue. The saucer and its primary body is fine, but the pylons and the nacelles just don't fit right for me. But that's my niggle with it. What's your guys' thought? I would love to hear in the comments section what you guys think of this ship, design-wise. Do you like her? Do you dislike her? Do you feel like she fits in with the canon, or is she an eyesore? Let me know what you think. With that being said though, guys, thank you for watching, and I truly appreciate the support you've shown by watching all the way to the end of this video. And to those that have donated to this channel and my patrons, a further huge thank you, as you are supporting this channel become its dream. Because I want this channel not to be one that is built off of ad revenue, but built off of you guys, the viewers. This is a hobby. Let's see if it can become more, maybe. If you guys have enjoyed and want to see more, then I hope that you will subscribe. But since you can't trust the notification bell, as much as I would love you to ring it, don't forget to check out the description below. Below the links for donations, there is my social media links, and specifically Discord. Come along and join the Discord crew. By becoming a member of our Discord crew, you'll be kept up to date with everything I'm doing. There's a tab that will always let you know when I've released a video, always let you know when I'm streaming. I will be announcing streaming schedules for you guys, and furthermore, You get to join in with the fun of communications with not only myself, but the rest of the crew. It's a great place to be, guys. But with that being said, thank you, and I hope to see you guys next time. Till then, live long and prosper, my friends. Ciao for now. Let's relax.